What's up? So we got Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 2, Episode 8, The Dark Ages. So, yeah, this episode, we'll just be talking about this episode. So this episode is obviously a Giles episode, and this, one thing I normally do, and we'll review the episode. So this episode is about Giles, and he's running away. This episode is about Giles and everyone's favorite bad guy, Ethan, Rain. And Giles and Ethan used to be childhood friends, and then they released a demon in their college days who's now come back to want revenge on them or something. So, and as I say with every episode, Willow is the best in this entire episode. As I say in every episode, so Willow and Buffy hanging out, talking about how about what they dream about, and Willow dreams about hanging out with some celebrity, and Willow is talking about, and Xander shows up saying, "Hey, what do you guys talking about? Where they'd rather be than where they are at school?" And yeah, so then Giles shows up. And Buffy was playing music for Giles earlier, and Giles didn't like it that much, and she was doing aerobics, she was aerobicizing, I think she called it, and so Giles goes in to investigate one of his old college buddies' dead body, but later on, the college buddy's dead body is later turned into a zombie. Later turned into a zombie, and so Ethan Rain shows up. Buffy obviously attacks him because she's the best, and so Joel and Buffy fight a vampire. We actually see Joel do very good vampire attacks. So they decide to attack. So the bad guy, Igon, that's his name, is attacking, and he wants revenge on Giles, as I said in the beginning of the episode. For Giles, I said prior to my beginning of the review, for Giles, he killed one of Giles. They tried to exorcise the demon out of one of Giles' friend's bodies, and the demon killed the guy. So after the Lie to Me episode, this episode isn't that interesting, but Willow is interesting because Igon possessed. So Igon's able to take over dead people or take over unconscious people. And since Jane Calendar was unconscious, he takes her over, and they try to, and we see the glowing eyes thing that all the shows does. So they try to figure out, and then Cordelia and Xander are fighting when Willow, the best character in the entire show, said, if you're not gonna help her, get out of her library. Which kind of like, Willow, even though you're my best character and you'll always be my favorite character, and nothing will change, even if you'll probably, either if she gets good or better, good or worse later on, she'll always be my favorite character. And I love how she calls it her library so they click it together. Buffy saves Giles when as Igon's about to kill him, but then Ethan Rain decides to sacrifice Buffy so he doesn't get possessed by Igon and dies. What? Again, he was the last person on the to-do list of Giles, and even Buffy thought Giles was drinking. So yeah, but he decides to sacrifice Buffy because I don't know, and gives her the tattoo that he and Giles have. But then they're able to stop Igon and his counter's just like she doesn't want to be in a relationship with Giles right now. Yeah, I do not get this episode. So yeah, Buffy does say this really cool line about if Giles is wrong about Miss Calendar not liking him, and yeah, I kind of agree with her. Buffy, even though this episode isn't all about Buffy, Buffy does learn some stuff in this episode, and this episode isn't my favorite one, but it is an okay one. I wouldn't say like Joss Whedon may have done the terrible Justice League film, which we all know is bad, but this episode is an okay one. It's not my favorite, but now we go on to the two-parter. Whose line is it? Which, weird that they made a two-parter episode. Episodes 9 and 10 is a two-parter, which I will not be spoiling. I will be spoiling it in two parts, because obviously I'm not going to be reviewing both episodes back to back, because I have a review episode list and playlist out, so I will not be spoiling again. So, yeah, so this episode I may put this episode. So, yeah, so my favorite episodes of Buffy Season 2 are the first episode, Lie to Me, yeah, I just like, this season is pretty good. Like, it has some good episodes. Like, so far, like, there's an episode that I read that has John Ritter in it before he passed away. So I'm check out that episode to see how John Ritter does, because I've seen John Ritter in some episodes of 8 Simple Rules Season 1 and 2 before he died, which was pretty great watching him. So seeing him in a Buffy episode, like, I think it's episode 11 or 12, is interesting. Also, yeah, this is the episode. Next episode is also the episode where we get my Saint Germain as a zombie hunter named Kendra in part 2. I read the synopsis. It's really cool that the actress was on the show before she was on Pretty Little Liars. But yeah, so because when I saw the picture of the Kendra, I was like, it's not my Saint Germain from PLL. So yeah, so I like the Dark Ages episode. It was okay. It's not one of my favorite, but even it's about Giles. I really hope to make another Willow episode, because even though the last Willow episode was about Willow and a ancient demon going into a computer in season 1, I hope the next Willow episode, even though this was a Giles episode, I hope when we get the next Willow focused episode, it is great, because Willow was great in this episode. Everybody, I cannot say how much I love Willow. She is the best character. She ever since I started season 1, the only character that I ever liked was Willow, because Willow is hilarious. She's funny. And even this episode, she was hilarious, because she was telling Cordelia and why did I forget Xander's name? Why did I forget Xander's name? I said, what's his name? When I knew his name was Xander. She was telling Xander and Cordelia to get out of her library. Hilarious. Willow. So, anyway, next time, even though this is the first Buffy episode 2022, I'll see you next time for another episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.